My name is Alex Hars. I just arrived in one of the most surreal cities in the world, Kathmandu. It is here that I will begin to explore the captivating country of Nepal and start a quest to fulfill my childhood promise of climbing the highest mountain on earth, Mount Everest. This is my quest. My buddy Kumar is a local expert on the ancient and mysterious city of Kathmandu.
Kumar,
He's going to take me around and show me some of Nepal's most important sites.
Thank you so much for meeting me. So what's the plan? What do you got for us?
First we go to Pashupatinath,
Yeah.
Lord Shiva's temple, and we will see their cremation of the dead body of Hindu. And after that, after meeting sadhus, we go to biggest stupa in the world.
I am so excited.
Two of the world's 5 major religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, are deeply embedded into the culture of this South Asian country. For over 2,000 years, worshippers, travelers, and traders have come to Kathmandu for spiritual guidance and to prepare for their treacherous journey into the great Himalayan mountains that lie just beyond.
So Kumar, tell us a little bit about Pashupatinath.
Pashupatinath is a temple for Lord Shiva, and his responsibility is for the destruction as well as creation.
Destruction and creation.
Creation.
Okay.
Both job he does. And that's why he is the god of every god, we like to say. In Nepal, Pashupatinath is the biggest temple for Hindus. It was the oldest temple in Nepal, and it is more than 3,000 years old.
Wow.
There is a crematory ground which is called Arya Ghat, and the Arya Ghat is very important ghat for Nepalese Hindu to burn their dead body. It is the one of the must visited place for Hindus in their one lifetime. This point is explained according to our some epics that Lord Shiva came here in the form of deer.
The deer?
Yeah,
Okay.
animal.
Okay.
Pashu means animal, and Pati means Lord.
As legend has it, Lord Shiva was so impressed by the beauty of this location that he turned an incarnation of himself into a deer to roam the forests and banks of the river here. It's a bit hard to imagine the beauty the deer may have seen thousands of years ago, given how polluted this sacred river is today. After flowing through this site dedicated to an incarnation of Lord Shiva, the Bagmati River continues downstream till it eventually merges with the holiest Hindu river of them all, the mighty Ganges of India.
This is Arya Ghat. It is in the bank of Bagmati River. It is the holy river for Nepalese Hindu. It confluences to Ganges, and this point is very popular for body cremation. And the next bank you can see the body cremation is happening there, and it opens all the time, 24 hours. Anyone can come for the cremation, especially Hindus do the cremation here.
Faithful Hindus can have their bodies burned on the Arya Ghat cremation platforms and their ashes swept into the Bagmati. This whole process takes about 3 to 4 hours. The general belief is that if good karma has outweighed the bad over the course of 1 or more lifetimes, the final rituals at Pashupatinath may grant the soul moksha, or liberation from the ongoing Hindu reincarnation cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and thus allowing one's soul to unify with the Supreme Being. Kumar suggested I check out the temple grounds and seek out these men known as sadhus who live here to possibly get some spiritual advice for my quest. Sadhus are holy Hindu wise men who have decided to give up all their worldly possessions and desires in order to focus on achieving moksha. And though they cut their ties to their families and get rid of their family name to live a righteous hermit lifestyle, they are well respected and revered throughout Hindu society. It's even widely believed that their mere presence can help cleanse a community of bad karma.
name?
Alex.
Yes. My name, Hanuman Baba.
Hanuman Baba.
Monkey god Hanuman Baba.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I love it. And how did you get that name?
My name, the god give.
Okay.
I am the servant. Yes.
Oh.
This monkey god Hanuman. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How does one find their Atman, their personal essence in life?
म सबैलाई भन्छु झुठो नबोल्नु कसैको दुःख नदिनु कसैलाई सताउनु नसताउनु सबैप्रति माया गर्नु
Do you have any final words of wisdom that you can tell me for my quest?
जीव सबै एउटै हो कसैको दुःख नदिनु सबै ईश्वरको भक्तिमा लाग्नु सच्चाइमा हिँड्नु आनन्द गर्नु कसैलाई दुःख नदिनु सबै मान्छेको आत्मा परमात्मा नै हो
Shiva.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yes, so much.
Thank you so much. Can you give me a final blessing,
Yeah.
gentlemen?
Oh.
Yeah, right, yes.
Thank you.
Long life, good luck, happy life, all family happy life, all
Successful
Yes.
life, successful.
successful life, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
This,
Thank you.
your name Shiva and Shiva Prasad, yes. Yeah. Very long life, good luck, all family happy life.
Yes.
You're all working in the successful, yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Monkey God. Thank you.
The cremation ghats and sadhus of Pashupatinath are humbling reminders that death is undeniable and that our past in life might actually matter. This place has me really reflecting on what my quest may ultimately have in store for me. In order to clear the air of Pashupatinath, it was time to do some exploring. Often the best way to get to know the true essence and culture of a city is by walking its streets and talking to its people. I struck up a conversation with a man outside of a typical Kathmandu shop, and he offered to show me around.
Welcome to Nepal.
Thank you so much.
You climb the Mount Everest, right?
That's where I'm going.
American Army.
No American Army. No, just I came over to see Nepal and to climb Mount Everest.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you look like army, no? Monks, we are going.
Okay.
And then there is a monk's blessing.
Oh yeah.
There's a board on the right backside and he blesses.
Oh, okay. Yes,
That's
yes.
good for you.
Yes, yes. Absolutely.
You can see this is like local town. Local people stay here.
We leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
you have-
Really early in the morning, like 5:30.
On the fly.
Yeah, we
Lukla.
fly to Lukla, yes.
Bumping road.
Bumping road. Is that how it is?
Bumping. Airport. Airport, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nepali pilot is crazy also.
Is that why Lukla is the most dangerous airport in the world?
Same like this airport, not big like this.
Like this size?
Only bomb, you know?
Just drop bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
You fly like this. The word plane is word, no new plane.
Oh, very nice.
It's saying monks. This is monk's house.
Very nice. How many monks? Just one?
One monks, yeah. Now it's monks is left in the mountain. No more monks in here now. Hello.
Hello.
You can see.
Oh,
This
yes.
is a new.
Oh, yes. Okay.
This one is
That's
wood.
old. Okay, yes.
You repairing. This one
Aha.
is more nature. Yeah?
Aha.
This one is wooden. This one is more nature. You can see all is like handmaking.
What's this? What's with the flags here?
This
That looks
flag
like
is
an old Soviet.
Communist.
Communist
because,
party?
2 months ago is like here in selection, you know, selection and 2 months like flag here.
So-
But I don't like it politics in Nepal. Difficult.
Are those flags up all over the place?
Yeah, everywhere before.
Because of the Chinese or because?
Chinese, yeah, like this, you know. Yeah. Maybe 2-3 years in a attack in Chinese, and this time is coming American NATO. like helicopter.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Civil War,
Yeah, civil
that
war.
ended in 2006, right?
Yeah, civil war here. This time is too much problem. Totally 80,000 people in the die in the jungle, in the too much fighting.
In February 1996, a brutal civil war began raging through Nepal. The newly formed Communist Party of Nepal, or CPN, started an insurgency against the ruling Shah monarchy, a dynasty that was started over 200 years ago by the first king and father of Nepal, Prithvi Narayan Shah. The CPN's objectives were threefold: overthrow Nepal's royal Hindu government, abolish the long-standing Shah monarchy, and convert the country into a Chinese-style People's Republic. Much of the guerrilla war was fought in the countryside, rural hills, and jungles, killing around 18,000 people and displacing hundreds of thousands of Nepalese by the time the 10-year conflict was over. By May 2008, the communists had taken control of Nepal, and the kingdom, along with its Shah monarchy, were officially abolished. This has led to an interesting dichotomy because Nepal is culturally dominated by its Hindu roots out of neighboring India to the south, but its government is ruled by communist doctrine coming from its Chinese neighbor to the north. Needless to say, India and China are far from being friends, and thus Nepal is stuck in the middle of a geopolitical chess match between the world's two most populated countries.
You got shot right here. Let's see it.
Yeah, it's here.
You got shot right there.
Here.
Oh, right there. And came out there.
Yeah, M16, you know?
M16.
Yeah, it's-
How did you get shot?
Huh?
Where were you?
Like near. Just near.
Yeah.
Yeah, near, and then he shoot me.
But did you shoot back?
No, I have knife. I have no gun, no goli.
Really?
Goli, and then I knife.
You had knife.
I got it, knife two people.
Wow. And they both had guns?
Yeah, both have gun. Yeah.
And you also got shot here, right?
Yeah. So one shot, and then coming rescue in helicopter, and then coming Kathmandu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you scared?
Yeah. I'm 6 months in the hospital. Like the 5 times in operation here.
Five times.
Yeah.
And are you okay now?
No, please.
Oh, you can't move the fingers. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. I'm
Okay.
happy. I have mine. I have dog. I have good dog.
And you survived?
Huh?
You survived?
Yeah, survived because I'm no die. You know.
Right.
I'm die is finished my life.
Right.
I'm no die.
Right.
I have 2 eyes.
Right?
Yeah. Like.
You can hear? You can think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
All right.
This is a life. Yeah.
That's good.
Back with my buddy Kumar for a visit to the Golden Stupa of Boudhanath. Boudhanath is the largest stupa, or Buddhist shrine in Nepal, and sits on a famous pilgrimage site that dates back over 1,400 years. It is said that the original shrine was built by a Tibetan king after he converted to Buddhism around 600 AD. Siddhartha Gautama, the Lord Buddha himself, was actually born in Nepal. Following his life, Buddhism spread outward from Nepal to the rest of the world. Many faithful followers believe that a piece of the Buddha's skeleton is buried here, making Boudhanath even more significant for those worshippers of his religion. In ancient times, during the days of the historic Silk Road, which connected the Western world with the East for 1,500 years, Boudhanath became a crucial transit point between the Khumbu Valley and the Tibetan Plateau to the north.
The king and his son decided to make Boudhanath in this point. The reason is the valley people, especially who live in Kathmandu Valley, they used to spend overnight here before heading to Tibetan trade route, challenging and mountainous route. And they realized that they have to make something special. The stupa itself is a very holy object. You know, there's in every stupa there is compassion eyes, all-seeing eyes. These all-seeing eyes always encouraging people to do the good karma. And then the upper section there is a 13 steps. This 13 steps represents way to nirvana.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
So you have to go up to 13 steps?
Yes, right. Step by steps, we achieve nirvana. At the top is lotus, This lotus flower represent extremely bliss place, happiest place. If you go from the west-south direction, the trade route where it used to happen, this section is almost an end and starting point of Himalayan route.
Right.
Yeah, challenging route.
Right.
Before heading to challenging place, people used to take a blessing in this point.
Yes. So you would recommend I should do one circumnavigation?
Yeah,
around-
exactly. Every shrines like this, stupa, is the source of energy.
More recently, Boudhanath has become a place of refuge for Buddhists who have fled religious persecution in China, and it's become an unofficial symbolic home of the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism.
When Dalai Lama exiled from his country in 1951, in that time his followers also followed. They were with him,
When he left Tibet.
yes, and came from Tibet side. And some of them settled here. Many Tibetan refugees are settled in this point. So their lifestyle, culture, and languages are quite similar with our high altitude people. So we have given one nickname for this space, Little Tibet.
As I leave Boudhanath, I feel more hopeful for my quest and have a greater sense of understanding for this amazing city and fascinating country. The following day, I head to the airport with my good friend and Mount Everest expedition leader, Ryan Waters. With my international teammates, Gilberto Tone from Brazil, Gulner Tombat of Turkey, and Erlen Ness from Norway, we anxiously await for our flight to the mighty Himalayas and to embark on our mutual quest to try to climb the highest mountain in the world. Ready to go to the Himalayas?
Yes, to make the summit with you, because you are strong and big man.
While sitting on a couch as a teenager in the flat farmlands of the American Midwest, I saw something on TV about Mount Everest. At that moment, I promised myself that one day I will climb that mountain. Out of sight and out of mind for many years, until one day while sitting on my couch in Denver, Colorado, watching random daytime television, and for no apparent reason, a recollection came over me that I made an oath to myself years ago to climb Everest. The next day, my quest to fulfill a childhood promise began, because if you can't keep your word to yourself, how can you guarantee your commitments to anyone else? The high risk of an Everest expedition starts with the flight to Lukla because Tenzing Hillary Airport is considered one of the most dangerous runways in the world. After safely landing, we find ourselves 9,400 feet above sea level. And though there are no roads that lead to Lukla, it is the gateway to the Khumbu Valley and the starting point for most Everest expeditions in Nepal. It is here we begin our 9-day trek to Mount Everest Base Camp.
Today we're going to hike from Lukla to Bakhtin, and we're not quite in the wild yet because we can still walk past tea houses. You're able to buy water, Coke, Snickers bars, whatever you need. So just to keep that self-care going, and if nothing else, we'll get going on the trail. Along the trek, starting today, we're going to come across a lot of the rocks that have prayers carved into them, and And so the tradition here is to walk to the left side around these things. It's just a Buddhist belief.
Sounds of clanging bells, shuffling hoofs, and the shouted commands of mule, yak, and doppio herds carrying cargo up and down the valley are melodic reminders of daily life on the trail. Since there are no roads in the Khumbu, everything transported up to Everest Base Camp has to be carried by a human, or an animal, or via helicopter.
You know, becoming a mountain guide, it's not easy. I've seen his old picture of Everest, so it made me like, yes, I want to do it. And one inspiration is my father. Yeah, he used to be a mountain guide, which in the term of, you know, climbing and trekking society is called a Sherpa, right? But Sherpa, it doesn't mean that it's a porter.
The Sherpa, or people of the East, migrated to the Khumbu Valley from the calm region of eastern Tibet over 600 years ago in search of a sacred hidden valley protected by deities. They brought with them Tibetan Buddhism, which is a hybrid mix of traditional Buddhist beliefs and Bon mysticism. Being the dominant ethnic group in the Khumbu, the Sherpa culture, their daily lifestyle, and deep spirituality is ever present throughout the region.
If you see a bigger settlement, Sherpa settlement, you can see one monastery, okay? The thing that made me to become a mountain guide is because of my family. I have brothers, sisters, they were all in the schools. Only my father, he is the breadwinner. We get older, physically you get weak, right? So then after that I decided I want to become a mountain guide. I have to help my family.
To make some money.
Yeah. And yeah, now I'm very happy.
And I'm sure it'd make your father proud too.
He is always proud of me.
The importance of Tashi as our expedition Sirdar cannot be overstated. The Sirdar, or head Sherpa mountain guide, manages all the climbing Sherpas and porters on an Everest expedition and is responsible for much of the climbing and trekking decisions. Tashi, alongside Ryan, will be integral to our success as a team. A few days into our quest, we arrive in idyllic Namche Bazaar, the de facto capital of the Sherpa people. Nestled into the side of a mountain at 11,300 feet, this crescent-shaped village was once an important trading hub between Tibet to the north and Kathmandu below. Today, Namche is a charming mix of modernization and traditional Sherpa culture. Hey, Pasan.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good, good.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you again.
What's this guitar you're playing here?
This is called a daunting, the Tibetan instrument.
Drangyen, what does that mean?
That means, dra means the string, and yen means to listen.
So listen to the string.
Listen to the string.
Well, before I have one of your fantastic coffees, can you play one more little song for me?
Okay.
The Sherpa were traditionally nomadic herders, high-altitude farmers, and Himalayan salt traders until the most famous Sherpa of them all, Tenzing Norgay, successfully summited Mount Everest alongside his climbing partner and friend, Sir Edmund Hillary, on May 29, 1953. That famous day would forever put the Khumbu Valley on the map and started the economic transition from nomadic herding, trading, and farming to climbing, trekking, and international tourism. Given their centuries of exposure to the extreme altitudes of the Khumbu, the Sherpa were genetically suited for this new prosperous economy and for becoming the backbone of arduous and dangerous Everest expeditions. "5 days into our trek, we make our way into the village of Pangboche, home to the oldest monastery in the Khumbu and surrounded by hundreds of hand-carved mani stones, which feature the most recited Tibetan Buddhist prayer, Om Mani Padme Hum, a powerful homage to Lord Buddha.
This monastery was built in the 16th century, and also at that time this monastery was already destroyed once by the avalanche also.
We're waiting to meet the Lama for a blessing to protect us while we climb the mountain. So it's tradition for Everest climbers to come here and get a blessing.
As we go higher in the Khumbu, the landscape becomes harsher and more remote. The use of helicopters up here becomes integral during the Everest climbing season for delivering supplies, as well as for saving lives.
Now we're about to head into Dingboche, where we're going to be staying for a night, and then we're actually going to stay another night for a rest day.
Yeah.
Throughout our expedition, we take multiple hikes or climbs to higher altitude before coming back down to sleep at a lower elevation. This process is called acclimatization, and it triggers the body to produce more red blood cells so we can survive at extreme altitude. Without proper acclimatization, you're more susceptible to altitude-induced ailments such as erratic breathing and dangerous heart rates, or even fluid in the lungs or swelling of the brain.
We've been trekking for, I think, 7 days now, roughly, and we're looking good as a team. So today's a rest day, even though we just took a short acclimatization hike uphill. It helps us sleep a little bit better tonight at this town, and then sets us up a little better for going up to our next location at Loboche. You see this snow that we can just see below the clouds there? That was a glacier. These glaciers used to meet and go all the way down this valley. And that's what created that valley. And then those over millions of years have receded uphill and then grown again and then receded and grown again. And so it cycles year after year. It's a nice walk tomorrow, about the same as yesterday coming in, and beautiful walking along the valley above Farache, and then we'll actually kind of pass through the Everest Memorial area. About halfway between Dengboche and Loboche, we come across a little pass here where there's a memorial area for a lot of climbers, mostly Everest people that have had accidents or passed away. And just kind of walking around and looking at the different memorial plates.
Yeah, after this point, So this is like a reminder that it's real.
What's the plan?
We're gonna walk to Gork Shep.
2 more days till base camp.
Yeah. Looking forward to going up to base camp now.
So a lot of these mountains have names, either Daughter Mountain, Daughter of Everest, they believe. And then also you'll hear the tse at the back. Something tse, lo tse, Khumbu tse, also means mountain, or can mean a direction sometimes. That's the border of Tibet and Nepal, right over the tops of these peaks. We keep walking, soon we'll see Everest.
We reached the last settlement before Mount Everest Base Camp, named Gorak Shep. Sitting on a frozen sandy lake bed at just under 17,000 feet, Gorak Shep is the highest village in the world and mainly consists of tea house lodges serving trekkers and climbers heading to base camp. With each breath here, we bring in roughly half the amount of oxygen than we would at sea level. While acclimatizing above Gorak Shep, we can see Everest towering in the distance. We finally reach our expedition base camp 9 days after leaving the village of Lukla and are graciously met by the rest of our mountain professionals team.
Big hand to the boys.
Absolutely.
This 1 mile long tent city perched at 17,500 feet, known as Everest Base Camp or EBC, is a fascinating place. EBC sits and moves on the world's highest flowing slab of ice, the Khumbu Glacier. It is painstakingly set up every year by teams from around the world and then broken back down once the 2-month climbing season is over. While settling in at base camp, I take the opportunity to get to know my team better, as well as speak with other expedition teams and a variety of experts in order to get more insight about Mount Everest.
I'm not a mountaineer, and you don't realise how much behind the scenes is going on to facilitate the people who are climbing their dreams. So there may only be 5 Everest climbers, but the logistics behind enabling them is enormous.
Many expedition staffs are made up of cooks, porters, medical experts, and climbing crews, all of which are key to success on Everest.
On a job called mountain inspector. So I do kind of inspection, make sure like all the agency, they don't leave any pollution high in mountain. In olden time, they used to leave all the things, they don't carry them back. And we made a rules. So each and every day, those climbers who went up there, they bring like garbage from above like Camp 2. So we collect all the rubbish there. We bring them back to base camp. So if it is burnable, we take down to Namche. Those are non-burnable, we send it back to Kathmandu.
Everest is still worth quite a lot of money to Nepal. Just the expeditions paid $3.8 million just to the government for our names on pieces of paper. But I don't think the media have given us as operators a very fair run. They criticise us, or you'll make profit and you don't look after the Sherpa and da-da-da. And but you didn't really do any research into that. This Khumbu is actually quite a rich part of Nepal. A few weeks ago, there are goat farmers. What are the Sherpas here? Most of them are going to go home with, $5,000 to $7,000 in their pocket for two and a half months' work. In a country where the average income is $700 a year, you can understand why the operator wants to promote work for them. In our own little way, we could actually help these people, and the Sherpa people embrace that.
The mountain have given lot to the Sherpa families, right? If the mountains, they were not here, then let's say it can be a different life for us.
So it's a good thing that Mount Everest is right here, or Chomolungma is right here in the Khumbu.
Yeah, we are really proud and we are really happy for it. We respect as our mother and as a god as well.
What do you think the Khumbu Valley would look like without Everest?
Even the tourism didn't come, we probably will survive. My grandparents and my great-grandparents, they were traders. They used to trade between Tibet and Nepal. So they give their families feed and get educations and stuff like that. Still there's a lot of people, who doesn't have animals, yaks and stuff like that. They don't have that opportunity to do tradings and stuff like that. So because of tourism, they can work on a tourism industry and they can give a better opportunity to their future generations.
You are so inspirational to know that you're a woman climber from a region where there's no women climber, not even guide climbers.
Yes.
There's got to be so many women and little girls out there that would love to do what you're doing.
They say, Funzo, why you are doing, this, why you climbing mountain, why you are doing this risky job, and this is not your job, this is man's job. Then I always say, why always they are talking about the man, and I want to say, all girls, you should come and you can follow your dream. After maybe Everest and Loche and this kind of opportunity, and I want to make one small medical center because my mother was passed away because of delivery, because we don't have a hospital. It's like don't make a goal, but make dream, you can follow your dream.
How did you become a Sherpa or a climbing Sherpa on Mount Everest?
It was my dream since I was young. First of all, I'm from a Sherpa family. When I was young, like my father, they used to go for the trekking and all those things. And since then, I started thinking about doing climbing and all those things. I started mountaineering around 2007. But I was trying to do Everest since when I was 17 or 18. But my family, they were not okay for it. I did all the trainings and all those things. Then at the end, so they were okay. So it was really hard for me to convince them to go on a mountaineering tour. And Everest, it was one of my dreams too. And now here I am. They do.
Are they scared, or are they more happy for you?
They're happy for me. At the same time, they're scared as well.
Right.
It's a family
Just try on the harness I gave you. Oh, he's got it.
When we get to the camp one, and after that, there's a lot of crevasse, open crevasse, and which is about 15 meters, right? So on that crevasse, we have to cross through these kind of ladders, okay? Similar.
Lean forward. You want to stay on top of your feet. Well, we just arrived at base camp, and we take some days just to move in and get acclimated. Inevitably, we will see some headaches. People maybe develop common colds and stuff like that. So we take it slow at start. We want to get acclimated, and also do a couple acclimatization hikes around here. We want to keep getting higher than base camp and come back down and sleep here, and that allows our bodies to kind of sleep better at this elevation, and that sets us up for going to Camp 1 later.
For someone like me,
Mhm.
who's on a quest himself to climb this mountain for the first time, what piece of advice would you give someone?
But the number one thing is you have to be very mentally prepared for it. The mental preparations is very important. Even fit climbers, sometimes they mentally not prepare. They come here, get up to camp 1 or 2, and then after that they just decide to go home. Physical, mental, those two things has to be very, very prepared for it. And same time you need to have a experience, climbing experience. If you want to climb the mountain and go back to your home for your loved one and family, just prepare for it before you come here.
No matter how well trained you are, or how mentally tough you may be, the one major factor you can't change for determining success on Everest is your genetics.
Got a little bit of altitude sickness up here at about 17,500 feet. Thought I could pull through, but don't have the strength, so I'm getting a helicopter evacuation.
There they are making a custom helipad for you. Wouldn't guess that, would you?
No.
Amazing how the operation works up there.
You're either born with the ability to survive at extreme altitude, or you're not. And if you're unable to acclimatize during an Everest expedition, helicopter evacuation to lower elevation may be your only option. Mount Everest is very sacred to the Sherpa people. They call it Chomolungma, which means goddess mother of the world.
Here, it's been in the decades of history, it's been a Chomolungma. So it's called the goddess of the world.
Chomolungma is so revered by the Sherpa that no one is allowed to climb the mountain without first taking part in a puja ceremony.
So we always do the puja to give us the permission. Not only climbing this mountain, every mountain in the Himalayan region. So as we always do.
Zip, zzz, it's time!
What's this?
Pack lunch.
Huh? Let's rock and roll.
Just follow me when you're ready.
Nowhere in the world will we climb a huge maze of collapsing ice towers the size of cars and buildings to reach a summit, except on Mount Everest.
How we doing? Good, man.
Hey, nowhere else in the world would we climb an icefall like this.
Right.
Nowhere.
Right.
You'd be nutter.
Yeah.
This jumbled sheet of ice and crevasses flows downhill at up to 6 feet a day and is considered by many to be the most deadly 2.5 miles on Earth. If we want to make it to the top of the world, we have to go up and down the icefall multiple times, not only to acclimatize our bodies to increasing altitudes, but also for carrying equipment to the 4 camps that lie above. Climbing in the Khumbu Icefall is a delicate balance between safety and moving as fast as possible. It's a constant evolving gamble to figure out the best way to avoid randomly collapsing blocks of ice and avalanches going off around us, while also trying to navigate shifting crevasses. It's the climbing equivalent of playing Russian roulette, and of the over 300 people that have died on Everest, unfortunately many have perished in this icefall.
You know, the ice fall doesn't lend itself to many mistakes, and so that philosophy of just kind of moving consistent and not getting tired to where you're forced to take a break under something that may be a little dangerous. Yeah, we want to move through there nice and efficient, get past any obstacles that may be a danger to us, and then pop out up on Camp 1, you know, feeling good and looking like we're a team climbing in good style.
After weaving our way up through the icefall, we enter Camp 1, situated around 19,700 feet in the western Khum. The western Khum is a crevasse-filled valley and the starting point of the Khumbu Glacier. It is surrounded by the towering trio of Mount Everest, Mount Lhotse, and Mount Nuptse. It is here that we get our first unobstructed view of Everest and our route to the 3 remaining camps to reach in the days and weeks to come.
Because it reminds you again to take a step back and remember that this whole thing is step by step. We knew this was going to take a long time. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. In my head, like, try to calm myself down. Okay, step by step. Don't look at the summit. Don't look at the mountain. Don't think about that part, at least.
We came from an era of new equipment and not knowing anything, and we didn't have anyone to teach us. So probably 80% of my mates have died. And of course I spent 28 years living in Chamonix, and it's not unusual to be having a beer with somebody one night and not there the next day.
10 expeditions up the hill, that's enough for me. It's dangerous up there, and I feel lucky to be alive after 10 expeditions on Mount Everest.
I personally was expecting things to happen. Here we are hearing the avalanches happening around us all day, all night. But when we're on the icefall, like, some of those are closer. We're like, okay, wait a minute. Those 2 avalanches that we saw, pretty close. And also the collapse that we saw on the way back down.
And we had to wait as we saw the seracs fall over and all the jumbled ice there and the new crevasses that opened up, and we had to find our way through.
Icefall is the best, but do you need to keep your attention away?
I mean, you have to be scared. It's healthy to be scared.
Well, I also heard you had some incidents higher on the mountain too.
I was hit by the same rock that hit the Sherpa on his head, and then he hit me and I was down. And the first thing I saw was like, boom, hit the head of a Sherpa guy who was going up. He turned upside down and I saw blood. And then I sent a message that we were hit, and also there was a Sherpa guy injured. And within 45 minutes or so, the helicopter came in. They flew into that spot and took him out. Luckily, I did not break any bones, but it hit my muscles. So there was a kind of bruise, and there was a little bit of internal bleeding in it. So yeah, I was lucky enough.
Everyone said that the route through on the icefall was based on maybe 8 years. So come this collapse on Wednesday, and thing was very much changed.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how it is now going back up with the new route through the collapsed area. And What are your thoughts on the collapse that happened in the icefall the other day?
Yeah, it was, let's say, it was kind of scary because we were just there, right there. Like it was just like 100 meters at front of us. Luckily, no one got any bad injury. Just one of the Sherpas is in Kathmandu. They rescued him all the way to Kathmandu.
And these things will continue to happen, you know, be scared and be intimidated and be humble.
The icefall doctors are actually the people that set the route through the Khumbu icefall, right?
Yeah. So the reason we call icefall doctor, they usually have knowledge about the ice condition, because like lots of more than 100 to 200 people are climbing on the same day, so they need to put the safest route for the climber. Each and every day we send like 3 icefall doctor for the rotation to check up the routes and everything. But like last few days, we have like lots of big collapse, but like as soon as I got a complaint, we just send our icefall doctor to fix up.
How does the route look now that the collapse has taken place and they've added or changed the route? How does it look now?
So till Camp 2, we know the route. So till Camp 2, it looks okay. Some part is scary, but still. And after that, I'll let you know.
Try to wash my base layers then. Thanks, SD.
Right now, as you can see, I'm boiling water. This is the incense to make Mother Goddess Chomoloma happy. When the sun hits on the tent, so we're gonna wake up, we'll head off to Camp 2.
Just when you think you got a break from the difficulties of climbing in the Khumbu icefall, you are now faced with climbing a 60-foot vertical wall of snow in the thin air of the Khum above 20,000 feet, as well as tiptoeing on swaying aluminum ladders held together by thin rope in order to pass gaping crevasses. Before going further above 21,000 feet during our 2 acclimatization cycles in the Western Khum, we rest at Camp 2 and discuss the strategy for scaling the upcoming Lhotse face and our moves higher up the mountain.
But the main thing you want to know is, once we start on those ropes, there's really no such thing as a break anymore. Like, it's too dangerous for people to be out there with water bottles and stuff when there's people below you. If you drop one, it's like a rock coming down that hill. So we'll go all the way until we get to camp, to the flat.
The Lhotse face is a daunting 5,000-foot wall of steep ice that stands between Camp 2 and Camp 4. The goal is to reach around 23,500 feet in elevation on the face in order to complete our acclimatization. Since your body can no longer acclimatize above these altitudes, we don't go any higher until we make our final push for the summit.
We made it, buddy. Yes, made it. Look at you. See that face, huh? Smiley face.
So it's all the way back down to base camp we go, in order to give our bodies time to recover, while also waiting on the weather to give us a chance to head back up for the summit. And though it may feel demoralizing to lose altitude after working so hard to gain it, this up and down acclimatization process is a necessary component of Everest expeditions and a major reason why it takes 1.5 to 2 months to climb the goddess mother of the world. Back at base camp, we monitor global weather patterns to decide when to take our chance for the summit. If the monsoons coming from India are able to push the jet stream winds off the top of Everest, sporadic weather windows may open up to allow for summit attempts.
If the 18th turned out to be a good weather day on our forecast, then that means we'd be leaving base camp on the 14th to start up.
Every team makes their own decisions based on weather predictions they have received for when it's best to try to go for the summit. Based on our best guess projections, tomorrow we take the gamble and head back up the mountain. With the heart pounding because of altitude and the great unknown for what lies ahead on our summit push, up the mountain we go one more time. After a rest day at Camp 2, we start up the steep Lhotse face again, but this time wearing -40 below zero summit suits.
What we call it in dream in Camp 3, Everest style.
We spend a night at Camp 3, dug into the ice at 23,600 feet before continuing our relentless ascent up the steep face. And in order to get to the top of this 5,000-foot wall of ice, we push on, hour after hour. I feel a slight sense of satisfaction reaching the top of the Lhotse face, but little sense of relief because we still need to scale the challenging Geneva Spur ahead if we want to make it to Camp 4. Cresting the Geneva Spur brings us into direct sight of Everest's majestic triangular face, but it also lands us directly into the death zone. Near 26,000 feet, or 8,000 meters and above, we will die if we stay here too long, for each breath here takes in only about 1/3 the amount of oxygen than what we would get down at sea level. After a tough day of climbing from Camp 3, we make our way into Camp 4, also known as South Col. This harsh, desolate, and wind-battered landscape is the final staging point for our summit attempt later on tonight. With no sleep and little rest, it's now or never. We leave South Col at midnight for our one chance at the summit. Ryan and I lead the way out of Camp 4, and after climbing all night into the cold, dark, unknown up the triangular face, dawn finally approaches. Now that daylight has arrived, we take a short break at 27,660 feet on the balcony of Everest. Tashi and I start up the southeast ridge alone while Ryan gathers the rest of the team. We see the whole southeast ridge in front of us. We are now climbing on the international border between China and Nepal. To my left is Nepal, while down my right side is China and the massive Kangshung face of Everest dropping off into the Tibetan plateau. Up here in the thin air where commercial jetliners fly, it is hard to move, breathe, and think clearly. So it's one slow step after another as we painstakingly force our way up the ridge. 28,700 foot south summit of Everest, we get our first glimpse of the true summit straight ahead. While climbing this knife-edge ridge known as the Cornice Traverse, mixed feelings of exhilaration and anxiety flow through me as I'm faced with sheer drop-offs of thousands of feet to either side. Scaling the legendary Hillary Step at over 28,000 feet all alone is a unique experience. It is at this moment I wondered what Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay felt in 1953 when they were here alone on their quest to try to reach the top of the world. Reaching the summit slope, my anticipation rises as I see the top of the world in front of us. With no one in sight, Tashi and I make our final push. There it is. There's the summit of Mount Everest. Fulfilling a childhood promise and a lifelong dream are now just steps away. A feeling and view like no other, Tashi and I graciously stand beside colorful prayer flags and tributes on the highest point on Earth. As I gaze hundreds of miles into China, Nepal, and India from 29,032 feet above sea level, I feel humbled and honored that the goddess mother of the world has allowed us safe passage to her summit.
Thank you so much, Tashi, for being here with me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you here. It's a real mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Though we savor every moment here, I know it's on borrowed time because the whole team has to get down safely before running out of oxygen, energy, or good weather if we all want to survive.
There's my new buddy, soulmate, Tashi Dai.
More people die on Everest during the descent than on the way up because of physical overexhaustion or decreased mental focus. So you can never lose your concentration when rappelling or when crossing deep crevasses over nerve-wracking ladders. It's one more game of Russian roulette in the unstable Khumbu icefall before we can reach the relative safety of base camp. Safely back at Everest Base Camp and 52 days after starting our quest to climb Chomolungma, it's finally time to say goodbye to the highest mountain on Earth.
I've never been to this country before. I've never been to the Khumbu Valley, never been to Mount Everest. It's not about this mountain. It's about you guys. All the people that I've met in the last 45 days are some of the best people on this planet. That's what this is about. I love you guys, and I'm so excited and so proud to have got to know you and to be a part of my family in my heart. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Mount Everest is truly a one-of-a-kind and remarkable place. It is awe-inspiring, it is humbling, and it is an epic reminder of the human spirit of adventure that lives inside us all.
The Rum Doodle Restaurant.
Rum Doodle, 40,500 feet.
Kathmandu.
Full circle. We're back. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Having an Everest beer after climbing Mount Everest is not the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, it was successful. Everyone was safe and a lot of summits and good time. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, it was a heck of an experience for me, for sure. Everything that had to do with the mountain and the experience was that and more than whatever I had pictured in my mind prior.
So now we have to find a way for you to sign the wall, get your Everest card. Hopefully you can eat here the rest of your life for free.
That's pretty cool.
Everest is hard. Ain't that the truth?
Nowadays, the world is like a small village, right?
Yeah, I'm happy. All right, this is the life. That's good.
I came to Nepal on a quest to explore this captivating country and to honor a childhood promise. But I leave with so much more. A deeper respect for its people, a greater understanding of myself, and new lifetime bonds that will never be broken.